All right, it's been 10 seconds now. What did you have for lunch?
I don't actually really remember. I think I had pizza for lunch.
Oh, the personal pan pizza or something like that.
Yeah, I had
Okay.
pizza.
What was on it?
Nothing.
Was it good?
It was adequate.
Okay, so there's only two right answers to was pizza good? It was great or it was good?
It was adequate.
No one's ever said that about pizza.
Uh,
Hey, it's Brian Quain of Reason to Believe. I was recently diagnosed as neurodivergent, and I've been on a journey to understand what this means for me. In the process, I realized there's an opportunity to connect with others who share the same desire to learn more about being on the spectrum. So sit back and enjoy stories from my friends, my guests, myself, and the incredible journeys shared on these episodes. You'll hear about obstacles faced, victories achieved, struggles overcome, but most importantly, our passion for belonging and connection. We are wired differently, but thriving always. Reason to Believe is the reason we are proudly autistic. Now, welcome to the show. Hello, friends. It is a Wednesday weekly. What I don't know. We don't have a name for this one either. But this is the third interview of the series of the, what do we call it? I guess the podcast. What we're doing. This is At Home with Brian. This is that episode. So recently, my buddy Rabbi, Michael, let's see, Freddie, just some of you have said, well, we want to hear your story. And it kind of makes sense, right? Who is this asshole that's getting on the microphone asking questions? Now, obviously, I've said it plenty of times if you've gotten this far that, yes, I am definitely on the spectrum. I'm spicy, tisms, ASD, ADHD. So that is where I think, yes, I want to ask those questions. So we're flipping it this week. We have a very, very familiar voice that is going to be interviewing me. So this week, so thank you to Coral, thank you to Tina for coming on and being our voices. And very much like Walter Cronkite on the air, Casie is writing down stuff while we're recording.
Yes. So everyone has to bear with me because even though I'm the more neurotypical one in the relationship, I do have severe anxiety and things make me nervous. So Brian does a fabulous job at interviewing people. And I am very nervous to even just speak on the mic. So everyone just has to bear with me.
There's 5 episodes of you on the mic.
Yeah, but you talk and I just, respond back. I don't interview anyone. So it makes me nervous. So
Okay.
I want everyone just to know that up front in case I sound like an idiot. All right. So.
Oh, okay. So take it away.
Have written down some questions. Because this is how my brain works. I will not remember a single thing. And I'm just going to start right off with
okay.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, did you actually notice as a child that you are neurodiverse?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
What I was really wanting to know if there was a specific event where you felt different. Was there something that happened where you kind of stood back and noticed, everyone else seems to be doing a specific thing, seems to be acting a specific way, seems to feel a certain way, and you were just kind of a little bit on the outside of that?
So, damn, good question, but at the same time, so everybody kind of gets to know who I am. 1975, when I was born January 19th, 1975 in Miami Beach, and my father passed away when I was 7, very young, both of us. And so I, there was a game show on MTV called Remote Control, and the opening was Kenny wasn't like the other kids. TV mattered, but nothing else did. And it was a game show. This is where Adam Sandler came about and everything like that. And sometimes celebrities would be on there. And it was fun. It was a fun game show.
Colin Quinn.
Colin Quinn was birthed there. Kyra, what was her name? I don't remember her name.
No idea.
Yeah.
I love Colin Quinn.
But Stud Boy from Adam Sandler. That's where Stud Boy came from. So and even to the point where VH1 asked me to be on Rock and Roll Jeopardy, and I beat Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray, which was something that had never been done. And if they were to have done a second season, I would have moved on to the second season there. Everything as a kid I collected, and it was movies, music, and TV. So the moments that I noticed that I could have been different, I probably felt that I was more... Even though I wanted to be Mikey from the Goonies, I was maybe more Mouth. When I got a little bit older, I started wanting to be Pee Wee Herman, Pee Wee's Playhouse, in Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Sure, hyperactive, screaming, but that was me. But I still wanted to have all those things in my house. Like I was a collector, very much like Pee Wee, If you see the opening scene in Pee Wee's Big Adventure where he's getting ready for the morning to have his breakfast and Mr. Breakfast and the Mr. T cereal, I was doing that stuff of building things and stuff like that as a kid.
But do you think that other kids weren't doing that?
So
because let me
now
tell
that you asked that,
I very much was obsessed with Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Okay.
And wanted oh my God, I wanted Cherry. I wanted all of these different things.
Awesome.
So, I don't know if that is super different,
No, but I feel like that's what caused my mom hated Paul Rubens, hated him. So he was different. So he's spaz, he's hyperactive. I'm playing that role. Once that ended, the masturbation thing happened with Paul Rubens. He got canceled. Then The Simpsons comes out. And now I become Bart Simpson. I start to and my mom was like, screw that kid. This is a phase, blah, blah, blah. Again, I was hyperactive. But I felt like, here's the other thing. Was I different? The one thing I'm learning in the last 3 weeks with everybody is that a good friend of mine, Catherine, today found us on Instagram. And she said, all of my good friends and people that I love are on the spectrum. So we're magnets to each other. And I think that might have happened also as a kid. We all gravitated towards each other. When I think I noticed was with you. So 48 years later, 47 years later in my life, that is when you said, are you on the spectrum, or were you on the spectrum, or please stop. I think that's when I really was like, wait, this is why I think people make fun of me all the time. But it was kind. Because the one time you actually made me feel like I noticed it was the video of Mark Duplass when he did his Brian Quain. Remember, I was like, oh, you need to see this. This is Mark Duplass, because you were like, I love Mark Duplass. I was like, oh, well, here's a video.
I very much loved him. I don't like that video, and I don't.
There you go.
I don't care, just to be quite frank. I don't care where he was coming from.
Okay, so let me say the video. Yeah, or what was the video doing?
Well, he was mimicking you, and it seemed very erratic and.
But it was me. But it was me. That's what's funny is that it was me.
It's just not. I just don't think that's okay. And wherever it was coming from, no, because it seemed like it was very much just making fun of you. And I think that there are a lot of times in social situations, there are some things that you don't necessarily pick up on. And, I don't know. I think
Mark, I love you, buddy. Because it was actually funny, the whole so Brian Quain calls me on the phone and and I get it. I wanted him to be at the festival. I think that's when I noticed though, is when you said that and I saw how offended you got, and you were like, nope, he's making fun of you, and it made me go, wow, I'm sure a shit ton of other people were doing that very much on a daily basis. Yeah,
so you have actually said quite a bit, to me at different times that you did feel different as a kid. So I just
Okay,
didn't know if there was a actual event where maybe you noticed it. I mean, you said, we were watching something the other night. We were watching Bob's Burgers, and like, Tina was doing some weird thing with these hormone kids, and they were like just super bizarre.
Hormone kids.
Yes, they were the hormone something, and they were performing at
Oh, the
lunchtime.
harmonious.
And I was like,
oh, and I performed.
And I was like, oh, Brian, and I was totally joking. I was like, I could see you doing this as a kid, and you were like, oh my God,
Youth
I think
Crime
I
Watch.
did. You're like, I was with the crime, whatever. And
Youth
I was
Crime
like,
Watch, yeah.
Jeez.
At Nautilus Middle School, or
But
maybe even North Beach Elementary, but yeah.
There have been plenty of times where you said you feel like you did not like fit in.
Okay, so here's the thing. So you want to know the day? It was the day that we got the phone call. My mom was in the room. We got the phone call, and we knew shit hit the fan. My sister went into her room. Adam Grabarnik, who was my best friend as a kid, he was with me, and Jonas, his older brother, was Alana, because they were the same age. And I think they were supposed to go see Stephen Gibb. I think they were supposed to go hang out with Stephen that day, because we lived close to the Bee Gees and the Gibbs. And my mom got the call that my dad died. And it was within like 10 minutes that she pulled me into the den, got on her knees, and she said, and looked me in the eye and said, "You are now the man of the house." And I think that was the moment I felt different from anybody in that house. Now I was not a kid. Now there's no male that's going to be walking in through that door ever again. It is now me, my sister, and my mom. And Lord help us all. Like, this was where I was like, well, shit, I am different.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that situation is a horrible
I hear that from everybody.
Situation.
I do.
So that I
Any
don't think
therapist.
that has nothing to do with the ASD.
No, I get it.
It has to do with, God, you were a child, and yeah, that of course you're gonna feel different. But that came from your mom.
But then here's the thing.
Because my follow-up question to my original question, where if there was an event or somehow if you noticed, was going to be, did you ever have a feeling or feel like there was an adult that maybe noticed some of these things in you, but they didn't say them out loud, but it was how they treated you, and maybe they treated you a little bit different, and maybe they made you feel seen or heard or not feel so different. I know that you said you had a teacher once
Mrs. Balter.
Like put like your desk to the side, or what was it, something like she moved your desk?
She moved my desk
just so that you could have some more time to actually take the test. And so I didn't know if there was like maybe someone else in your life that if you think about it, hey, this person probably knew, and I think they treated me a different way, and it made a difference.
Mrs. Spiegelman, my best friend growing up, there was Matthew Spiegelman, and then Francine. Francine was, God, I love Francine growing up. She was like, there was Tammy Wasserman, Francine Spiegel. So it was Mrs. Spiegel. It was Francine Spiegel and Matthew Spiegelman. And Mrs. Spiegel was my 7th grade drama teacher. And that made me feel so... She would let me do like little presentations for the class before, like things like that. Mrs. Spiegel was awesome. Awesome. And she knew that I had this energy. She was friends with my mom, so she knew. That Brian's this. So I would say I thank Mrs. Spiegel for a lot of that, like she did. When it came to people that would either come over, like my mom's friends, things like that, I don't know. I'm trying to think if Batia ever did that, or maybe Tracy Valancourt.
I feel like you would know. So I feel like you wouldn't have to think about it. You know, I feel like it would be something that you would sense.
Well, no. Okay. Then maybe not. Okay.
So you said that You like to collect a lot of things. You were always collecting stuff as a kid, right? So that was a big thing.
Just don't.
And
don't
you were
dare,
all about.
Don't dig under the garage.
That would be more of me, not
5101
you.
Lakeview
Bodies.
Drive.
So, along with the collecting things, you brought up remote control. You brought up, Pee-wee's Playhouse. So just building off of those things, and, not even necessarily do those things mean you have ASD in any way whatsoever. But do you think that you're like the actual neurodiversity or your neurodiversity ASD, do you think that that is kind of what guided you into, the things that you were so interested in, and then the things that you actually then went into as far as work?
100%.
Because you've worked in music, you've worked, on movie stuff, so you've worked as a trainer. I feel like all of those things, those are creative things. That's, I feel like, also those are probably fields that I would say that they have a pretty high percentage of neurodiverse people in.
It's right.
Like entertainers in general. I mean, I've worked with entertainers almost my entire adult life in some fashion. And it's your musicians, it's your artists, it's your actors, actresses, it's your writers. So, these are things that you've done, and the people you've worked with. And I think a lot of them fall into that neurodiverse, kind of, I don't know, like.
Okay. Am I answering something, or I feel like you just answered it. So am I answering it, or like, I'm sorry.
No.
Because you asked a question at first.
Yeah. Like, do you think like the ASD is what, it is actually what guided you into those interests?
Oh, I was answering that.
And
okay.
your career, your jobs.
So 100%, like 100%. Knowing now what it means with ASD, and creativeness and everything like that, I 100%. I feel like I had to memorize movies. Like I could quote any film, I could sing any song. That's probably before 2005. There's a lot that I just collected. And honestly, when it came to doing, I mean, who freaking knew when I went to film school that it was going to be film history? People were having the hardest time with, Dave was our instructor. And I thought Smiley, that's what we called him, was just like the smartest man in the world. And I got the highest score ever in that film history class. And it was just because, oh my God, there was so much I loved about it, I guess. I think honestly what started the record store was collecting, or like the record collecting and things like that. So I had a record store, and then I went to film school, and then I was touring with bands, and that was addicting because I had to see At the Drive-In every night, or Jimmy World every night, or Rye Coalition every night, or Soul Coughing every night. It was like things like that just was awesome. And then working in film, I would learn so much just from hanging out with filmmakers, like over, like all the time, and I will be honest with you. Entertainers being on the spectrum. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. If you saw my Rolodex on the phone, and I could be like, there they are, of all these filmmakers or people. Yeah. They're definitely hyper focused. I think a lot of my favorite genre of music is punk rock, probably, hardcore punk rock, all that. And talking to my buddy Rich, it just came to me that so many punk rock bands have to be on the spectrum, like singers, the way they write, the way they reference shit in their songs, and they make it to a point where we all could sing along to it. And here's the thing. Why do we love it so much? Because we're magnets to it. We take care of our own, if you will. So yeah, I definitely think that now looking at it, yeah, definitely. How much differently is my brain wired to what I was when I was a kid? I still think a lot of that passion is still there. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to have a lot of passion to be in like any of those fields.
Yeah.
You know.
Let me ask you a question. What do you, when you see me get hyped about something or excited about something, or I'm ready to like, what do you hear, or what is it that you see me go, ooh, like, is it an ASD thing, or is it more just this crime of passion that I got to get this done? Like, I'm really excited. What do you see it as?
I think it depends on what it is. Like, I'm not sure if I completely understand what you're asking.
Okay.
So are you asking if it's, us like watching TV and you stop whatever we're watching to, tell a story about
There you
something
go.
that
Let's
I have
do that.
no
Let's
idea
do
what
that,
you're talking about?
this either bugs the shit out of you,
Oh.
or. But here's the thing: you do it all the fucking time, so don't even pretend like you're doing your eyes at me. Like, no, it is
have
you.
never ever stopped a show.
No, you just talk over it. Like you just like the whole.
I feel like, but that's also something that So here's the thing: you play like a game and are watching a show. I can like pay attention to a show and have a conversation. So I think they're just two different things, and
I think it's so funny because when we were watching Vin Diesel's interview questions for Brian the movie, I'm never admitting to what movie we just watched.
What?
I don't want to tell. I'm not saying it out loud.
Interviewing him. I made Brian watch Fast and Furious, the first one. I have no idea if that's even the name of the actual first movie. Listen, they're so incredibly horrible that they are good.
Oh no,
that's all I've got.
But all I gotta say
Paul
is,
Walker ones.
Freddie. I love Toretto. That dog is the sweetest thing in the world. So I think definitely. I understand that I could do a few things. To pause is because I feel like I want to keep watching what we're doing. So if it's the Great British Bake Off, if it's the summer Halloween holiday, spring baking championships, even if it's a movie like the Vin Diesel interviewing Brian movie, things like that, I think I do pause because I don't watch trailers. Why?
Yeah.
No, but here's the thing.
That's another thing, man. I love trailers.
So I don't
Even
watch
if
trailers.
I know the ending
because
you still don't know how it's getting there.
Man, who gives a shit?
it.
No. Trailers, and I think knowing how they get edited, I know what we're going to see. So I don't want it to ruin anything. Same way I want to give every filmmaker, every producer, every writer, every director, every cinematographer, the sound, they all put their time in it, even if it's the Vin Diesel interviewing Brian question movie.
I get it.
And, I have to pause it. Okay, so there you go. That's my thing. So that's why I pause. And yeah, I like to tell stories. I mean, shit. I'm not going to be alive much longer. Come on.
Stop it.
We got to tell stories.
I think that, again, so my answer to that question is it just depends. Like if it's stopping something and I'm like fully involved in it or watching it, or even not, even if it's, you're not stopping something, and it's just like a story, that I know nothing about. And I mean, it depends. Like sometimes I can be like, okay, my anxiety can take over. And there are other times when you tell stories about things you've done, that I just love.
Okay.
I just absolutely love.
You'll have to give me a list so that way I'll remember. I'm kidding.
Well, so my favorite thing that you ever told me was about the video that you made with that breakdancing kid.
No, I didn't get to make it.
Well,
clap your hands, say yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so didn't make it, but you were gonna make it. You literally walked me through the entire fucking thing, and you acted it out.
Yeah,
and it was adorable.
It was a great music video idea, and I'm so sad that Alex didn't want to do it, man.
So there are some things that I am just I love. I love, right? So clearly I remember that was like when I lived
in
like
the
someplace
apartment.
else.
Yeah.
I mean, so I have these, memories that are
Which is
just
so
fantastic.
weird that is one of your favorite memories. When here's the thing, I was addicted to that first record that Clap Your Hands put out, because it's fucking great. It's actually, and it's the last song on the album, Upon This Tidal Wave, that I had the music video idea, and when I pitched it to them. So I'm playing the song for you, and I feel that it's actually, there's 2 songs on that album that are so heavy Talking Heads that is
God,
one of
I
them.
hate
Yeah.
I hate the Talking
so
Heads.
when I'm
Hate it.
playing that song for you, it was like, I knew you hated David Byrne and everything that he embodies, which
it's
is...
not the music, it was you.
I get it. Okay. I thought you were just going to be like, nope, turn this off. Because, I know what that means. Is like, turn this off. I know when that happens.
Yeah, but it had nothing to do with the music.
Yeah,
okay. You legitimately acted every fucking thing out. Like, you're like, and he's walking down the street. And then he's going to dance like this.
I was actually walking down the street when you... No, I was kidding.
Yeah, he left the apartment and just walked right down the street.
Bye. I FaceTimed her. Okay, no, I did it all in the matter of like 3 feet. It was like I had a 3 foot by 3 foot box, and I did that whole video for you. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Okay. All right, so I'm going to ask you just a few other things. I mean, we've gone over that you toured with musicians.
Mm-hmm.
You worked at the Florida Film Festival for 20 years.
20 years.
I think that's huge. I think that's really a big thing, and it's a good thing that people know because, that's how you got to meet a lot of people. So I think that's important for people to know that. You were a trainer for a big tech company that just are pieces of shit. Pieces of shit. But that's
for 11
also,
years, and that was 11 years.
And what's great about that is that you got to train all different types of people who have no idea, like me, right? People who have no idea at all about technology. I know nothing.
Which is weird, right? Because when I love telling the Buzz Aldrin story, like teaching Buzz Aldrin was like one of those things, like, motherfucker, you went to space.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it
he
doesn't matter. It's still
angriest man in the
different.
world. And then the second, like I kind of got him on my level. I brought him down, right? I brought him down from space. I was like, oh, we're gonna bring Buzz Aldrin back down. So yeah, once he was on my level, oh God, we couldn't stop laughing. Being able to work with so many kids on the spectrum, and some of them are now still finding those passion points of making film or doing music. That was huge. And like talking to a mother of one of my favorite, let's just call them campers, if you will.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were campers.
Yeah,
they were there for camp.
They were there for camp. Being able to know that one of my favorites is now in college and doing amazing, and his being diagnosed with being on the spectrum. Man, I'm not going to say his name, but damn, you're up there, dude, and I appreciate that. I really hope to connect with him. I think because kids are now going to be coming home from school, kind of thing, and if we're just going to call him if he comes home, then I would love to ask Sheila, like, hey, let me talk to him and see how he's doing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I would love to catch up. Yeah,
it would be awesome.
That'd
and
be awesome.
And truthfully, the connections that you made with people, I think that's the most important part or aspect of that job. I think
I didn't sell. I was a trainer. So I got away with doing whatever the fuck I wanted, and it was awesome because that's all I wanted to do was like teach, and I wanted to make sure everybody was using every one of their devices for the right reasons, and it was their reasons, and yeah.
But that company was a sitch.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you a couple questions.
Bring it.
I want to know what's your favorite thing about being diagnosed with ASD is.
Oh my God.
What
the podcast? Opening a door. So here's the thing. It goes back to it becomes like that mask, right? The oxygen mask when the plane's crashing. Yeah, I got the diagnosis, but guess what? I'm opening a door where I want to hear everybody else's stories about being on the spectrum, if they're diagnosed, self-diagnosed, or just feeling like their brain is wired differently and they're thriving the way they are. I think that is the best. If you want me to answer it selfishly about what is it, fuck, I need to do that.
Yeah, I want you to be selfish.
I don't like it. I mean, I like it. I do. I cry a lot because I do. When you're not home, I cry a lot because I'm like, nothing made sense as a kid, and nothing made sense in my 20s and my 30s, and friendships, relationships, every ships. Like, it just sucks that it's like relationship, Game Face has a song, fuck, I don't remember the song, but it's like, why have a relationship if we can't relate? And it's so true. Like, you have to relate. And I felt like I did that with so many fucking people in my life. But the one fucking second that I'm so in my head, and it takes me a few months to then build up the confidence, and the guilt is so weighing strong that once I talk to somebody again, they're like, really, Brian? Why? What is it you need? It's like, fuck, man, we had such a great friendship. We had such a great this. Can't you understand that I'm not doing okay? Like, I was never doing okay before. So the second I'm not fucking doing okay, but you're sitting on my couch for and this is not just one person, people. This is like, are you kidding? Y'all blow up my phone when I needed you most. And it's like, hey, Brian, how are you? Oh, this happened. Shankly's feeling this way, and and the house flooded, and this and this and this. Man, I can understand. I stubbed my toe. It fucking sucks.
So, babe, it's relative, right? And I know that's like a really trite thing to say, but it is. Like, everything is relative. So, and I get it, the stubbing of the toe is definitely not the same as being diagnosed with something. And I get that whole thing, and I do.
I know
because
you do.
What's going on with my health. And so when I hear other people complain about things, I actually get really fucking angry.
I know you do.
So I
Trust
understand.
me, I'm not allowed to pause the baking because you just talk.
But
so what I do want to answer this.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I do want to answer this. The best thing to come out of it is the fact that I could have 2 middle fingers up in the fucking air, and that I don't have to pull a zipper from my brain and take my brain out and go, see, there was something wrong, and I'm not retarded like you used to fucking call me, people. I'm not. Like, I hate that word, and by God, those 2 middle fingers are towards somebody that just abused the shit out of me, and it's crazy. I listened to Eminem's Marshall Mathers LP.
Oh, God, are you planning on killing me? Are you going to put me in the trunk?
That's track 11. I was still on track 2.
Okay.
Because remember, it always starts with the skit.
Okay.
But it is that, he always started it with his, like, hey, ma, fuck you. Like, you made me this way. And so the best thing that I learned is that I now have a solid ground to stand on to say, no, this is who I am, and this is how I've always been. And
there's a reason.
And sorry you didn't understand.
Yeah.
So
I think that's really good. I mean, I fucking hate to hear that, like, you're crying.
Oh, I'm crying all the
during
time.
The day. Like, I mean, I think the best thing that came out of the diagnosis for me, I'm going to talk selfishly for me.
No, that's good. That's good. Because I do want to know. That's good. I didn't know you were going to say something.
Is just understanding.
That's what I want with this podcast. So thank you. Good. I want neurotypicals too. This is the whole point. So thank you.
So then I'm just gonna say something to be brutally honest.
Oh, God,
please don't take offense to it.
But why now that the mics are on are you gonna say that when you do it anyway? So go. No, this is a conversation between us.
Because I think knowing this, I was able to be like, oh my God, there's a reason for certain things. Your brain is wired differently, and like I think I was like, thank God he's not just a dick, because honestly, if you're around someone who has a ton of emotional regulation at times, or just emotional dysregulation at times, or meltdowns, or I have sometimes just a really dry or just sarcastic off sense of humor, and I think a lot of times it's, that's not something that you'll pick up on. And I think I'm really thankful to know, like, okay, cool, he doesn't hate me.
I know we've had this episode somewhere. It hasn't launched yet. I don't think. But
I am happy.
No, I get it.
Super happy that you have an understanding as well.
I like that,
because
I still haven't read the file. It's right here somewhere.
Oh my God, I read that.
Yeah.
I read every word of that. Of the diagnosis. It's like 12 pages.
It is. It's long, and I just figured I have it. Fuck it, I'm done. I don't want to read it.
But it explains so much, and I think that I'm glad that it does give you understanding, because I think it did, and I think it does give you the ability to be like, there is nothing wrong with me.
I mean,
I've
never said that.
There's proof.
I still believe that there is, but I know, but I mean, it is what it is, and I mean, trust me. Somewhere on Threads yesterday or today, someone did say, no, Freddie even said it yesterday. He was listening to an episode. And in his list of, like, he sat and listened to every episode. He just did it in like a 4-hour chunk.
I mean, some are pretty short.
Yeah, like, which that's the whole point of Mondays. It's here's a 20 to 30 minute, this is what we do. And this is how we do. And he said, well,
I hate that song.
What song?
This is how we do it.
Well, it wasn't Montel Jordaning anything. No, I didn't even think about that.
Okay.
But when he said, like, your brain's not broken, thank you. I'm glad someone who's neurotypical is catching on to that. Thank you for those kind words. But guess what? I'm 50 years in this shit. I've been marinating in it, and I still feel.
Yeah, that's.
Is it broken?
No.
Yeah, and and I don't know where we left the glue. Not a finger.
Yeah, I think that is like the one thing, the big difference, like, when you are diagnosed, and I still say it. I say it all the time. It doesn't change a fucking thing. Like, you are still the person I love. Like, it's what is actually changing. Like, this is who you are, and.
When did we find out the diagnosis? Was it the week that David Lynch died? I mean, it was also his birthday.
No.
It was his birth, not the same day, but my birthday. Oh, no, it was last year. Yeah, you're right. It was last year. Okay.
Yeah. But, and here's the thing. Our, like, neurodiverse, neurotypical therapist, I don't know which technically is, psychologist, I don't know. I have the list of what she is. The same exact thing. Like, it doesn't change anything. You're not broken. Nothing. You're still you.
I get it.
Yeah. Like, so.
I mean, I don't get it, but I get it. I get what you're saying.
All right, so I'm gonna ask one more question.
Okay.
What is your favorite tism?
The overwhelmingness where I'm allowed to enjoy spicy food. Let me think about that.
You only get one.
I know.
Well, can you do this? Can you name the tism you hate the most?
Meltdowns, obviously, 0 to 100.
Are meltdowns tisms?
Yes.
Are they? Okay.
Oh my God, yes.
Clearly,
yeah, it's
I don't
where your
know
brain.
all
Oh my
this.
God, yeah. It's the dopamine doesn't kick in, right? So what's happening is you're just like you just freak out. You have your freakouts. Oh man, LCD sound systems. If you do it again, I'm gonna freak out.
Okay.
So my favorite. So that is my. Obviously, I don't want to be angry.
Makes sense.
Right. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be mean.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt myself. I don't
want to hurt others.
Well, I've never laid a finger on anybody.
I don't mean physically.
Oh. I love hurting others then. No, I'm kidding.
Stop.
So, no, obviously I don't want to say words. I don't want to say hateful shit. I don't want to say any of that. I don't want to be any of that. And I've gotten a lot better.
I didn't actually, to be, just 100 percent. I didn't know that was a tism.
What is my favorite?
I'm still learning.
No, I get
obviously.
it. So am I.
But,
let's just be honest, because I didn't want to delve so far into every book, to every podcast, to every anything, because the whole point of this is to have people on here to share their tisms and be like, me too, or and I think that's awesome. Rich, by God, not only does he make the best freaking coffee in the world, but he brings the best coffee conversations in the world. Like, he really does help me understand what's going on. I actually feel
Coffee
like
talk.
I really feel like I have a doppelganger brain sometimes, where I'm like, thank God I have him on like, he'll pick up at the roaster, like when he's roasting, when if needed. Same with him. If he needs me at the drop of, there was a funeral that he was going to yesterday. So Julie and Rich, sorry for your loss. Love you guys, but at the same time, when I saw him call, picked it up right away. Because I was like, I know he's going to the funeral. If he stepped outside, he might need it. If he's grabbing a cigarette, don't smoke it. Just talk to me. I don't want people smoking.
I thought you said he didn't smoke.
He doesn't. He doesn't smoke. But if he needed one, I didn't want him to. That's it. He doesn't smoke. So at the end of the day, there's so many tisms out there. To say what is my favorite,
There's got to be something you love that you do.
collecting.
Is that a tism?
It does happen with a lot of people that are on the spectrum. They need to collect things. So if I'm playing a video game,
soothing, right?
So Animal Crossing, Fallout, Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Not like, the first generation, the first 30 years of Zelda. But if you look,
how dare you, sir?
No, but I'm
that
saying
is the best.
No, I'm saying it's great. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I like one or the better. But if I'm playing like Breath of the Wild, I don't just play to just do the missions and get it over with. I need a 100% Xbox. When Xbox 360 came out with their achievements, oh my God, I had to get every achievement for every game.
Yes.
When watching the show Lost, I couldn't just watch the show. What did I have to do? I had to start a freaking blog about it, and even ABC was like, "You're crazy." One of my great friends, Karen, was like, "We're gonna start a podcast about this," and we had the printing press where it was like books on the show. I needed to solve that show. Now everybody that's saying that show was freaking amazing or crazy, the ending was still the sweetest thing. Vincent, I love you. Vincent was the sweet. Oh my God, Rigby and Vincent, they would have been great friends.
So you've gone on this whole
there's the tisms right there.
Tangent,
That's
whatever
not tangents,
it is.
Those
I really thought you were gonna say like you're drumming. I thought like you because that is the one thing.
Well, there you go,
that
Rich.
you will do. No, but listen.
No, because he's a drummer, so it's funny. He says it. He says that's part of his tisms.
It's the one thing that you do, regardless of what song it is, regardless of what you're doing. You always smile when you're doing it. So I don't know that you realize you're doing it, but you whenever you're like drumming, air drums always come with like a smile. So I just for sure thought that you were.
I didn't even think of that being one. I just thought that was me. But no, you're right.
No,
tapping
definitely
and drumming,
that
because mine is
yeah.
that. I think that's just the over stimulation things. A hot bath, like there, I have to. But here's the thing too. I like the sensory thing too, because I have to wear long sleeves. I can't wear short sleeves. I have to be covered, or I have to.
Oh my God, we went to Epic. It was 900 degrees.
Was that
and
it?
You had
my hoodie.
So, oh my God, Brian, you had like 3 layers of shirts on, and I was dying. I have no idea how you were able to do that.
It's so weird because I wasn't even hot. Like at the end of the day, people are blown away that I could wear a hoodie in July, and they're like, "Aren't you hot?" And it's like,
There was no shade. The sun's beating down.
Yeah, I don't know. It's nice
on your baseball cap.
Yeah. And is the beer getting flat? Okay.
Yeah.
I think these are awesome questions. Now that you know, and everything that's been going on, or even with like this podcast, what are your thoughts now on seeing who I am, finally putting myself into a situation that I'm very excited about, passionate about? What are you seeing right now that you feel is like Brian?
Oh, I don't know how to answer that. Do you just mean like overall?
I guess so, because I know. Trust me.
Listen, I'm look.
5 months ago,
Let's
4
be
months
real
ago,
honest. You were having a really rough time. You were having such a rough time, and it was for a long time.
Oh my God! I mean, honestly, to say that rough, like I'm still having a rough time. That was. I mean, let's just be honest.
Listen, it was gut wrenching to like witness, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So I am 100% just in love with the fact that you're excited about something. You know, I love the fact that I can call home, you know, every day at 11 when I'm having lunch. And
see, I told you it is 11. I'm having lunch.
Yes. And I interrupt it.
Every day.
But yeah, man, that's my lunch too.
I know, my routine.
So, you know, I love the fact that now when I call, I can ask what you've done or what you're doing, and you like have a story. Like you've done something, you're excited about it, you've been researching something, and even if you're like frustrated with it, it's still a creative like process, you know. And before, oh geez, I didn't even know how to have conversations sometimes, you know?
You know what's crazy is I always wondered if I didn't pick up the phone at any given moment, would you worry about like, shit, where's Brian right now?
You mean then or now?
Then.
Well,
like I kept my phone on me at all times because I felt if I didn't pick up the phone, you would have been on your way home like, fuck Brian.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, I mean, even if that happened now, if I call...
No, I get that. Yes, you say it all. Like, I get that, and I love you for it. Like, but
Yeah, if something's off in a routine, I'm going to... And that's probably part of my... I'm weird, but you know, I automatically, you know, go to, oh God, something's wrong. Mm-hmm. So like, I need to make sure, you know, he's okay, or I need to make sure whatever it is okay. My brain just automatically goes.
No, I get it.
So,
and honestly, I love that because I had that with you. I have that with, you know, Sean. You know, I have that with Deb. You know, where it's like.
Yeah, man. Well, like, also, if you don't respond to a text, and this isn't me being
I know.
This isn't me being crazy or like, what's Brian doing? Or he's blah, blah, blah. Because that's just not, whatever. No, I'm worried. Like, I get worried. Like, and what do I text you? I'm like, are you alive?
Okay? Are you alive? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's probably not the right thing to text. But you know, because I'm worried. Like, I don't know, something could happen.
No, I get it. Because 5 months ago, I would have been like, barely breathing. Dude, Duncan Sheik was a shit. That first record, Barely Breathing.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, Duncan Sheik, man, that was a great record. Okay, so we're I think we rounded third. It is baseball season. My last question for you are the Knicks gonna go to the finals? Yeah, don't start that shit. You know they're gonna.
I'm not a Knicks. You know what?
Well, here's the thing.
I will support them.
No, you don't.
I will support them.
How did you feel when Liverpool won the league? What did you do when Liverpool won the league?
I don't know anything about this. I said that's great, babe. But listen, can you please? What was one of your Hanukkah presents?
The Knicks. Oh, tickets to see the Knicks. Okay, yeah, no, you're right. I got to see the Knicks.
Yes, I got you Knicks tickets.
Yes, I got to.
So obviously, I support it, and that's who I rooted for. You got to see. Super excited.
Got to see Town. You got to see Brunson.
It was a great game. They just completely fucking owned.
Yeah, destroyed the Magic. Yeah. Fourth quarter was just like, did the Magic?
It was like, were they even there?
Yeah, were they even there? That fourth quarter.
The entire
wiped them away.
We're at
and the Magic were great. The Magic were great this season. They went to the playoffs. So yeah.
I mean, whatever what is the place name now? It's Kia Center.
Yeah, Amway Kia.
Whatever. I mean, you would think it would be like nothing but chanting and for the magic.
It was
and
blue and orange.
place was lit up.
With blue and orange.
Lit up, and that was all you heard. It was
I
like
wore my Knicks hoodie.
It was like yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Solari
crazy.
would have been proud
crazy.
if I still fit in the Ewing jersey that he gave me. There's a picture of me with that Ewing jersey on somewhere, and I'm like 80 pounds. Okay. This is awesome. Thank you. I think this helps more people because obviously I never thought about that people might want an episode of like, well, this is more about you, dipshit. Like, you should talk. I mean, I'm glad that we got to do this.
Yeah, it's that,
and it's in the beginning, right? It's the third episode of interviews.
It's that, later diagnosis in life. It's, it's the hardships, that have come along with it, but also some great things. And I think it's really important for people to kind of know, like, where you come from. I do think you talk a lot about different celebrities. You talk a lot about different musicians. And I think maybe just like the average person is probably wondering, like, how does this human being know these people? I mean, I think I would probably.
No, I get that. And that's good.
So I think it's great, for people to hear like everything like really cool.
And I'm going to casually bring up their names throughout the podcast. Like, honestly, the way we just did, Mark, knowing Mark Duplass, and, thank God to Mark and Jay for being there when I needed them in the film world. And still to this day, I mean, Jay just texted me recently about the Baltimoreans and like, when he turned 50 and how he wrote the film and wanted to direct it again. And there's just like, you're going to hear me drop names. And I want to just say it's comfortable for me to talk about them because I worked my ass off. Actually, you know what it is? It was probably my tisms that brought them to me because they were probably, like, let's be honest, Tony Bourdain, man, he definitely that motherfucker was on the spectrum. I guarantee it. And I think that's why Tony and I got along really well. I really do. Because it wasn't just about food at all. Sure, we ate together, but it was about, like, film, knowing everything about it, punk rock music and knowing everything about it, and being able to be like, man, it was just awesome. So I feel we're going to get a lot of conversations like that. We are.
Yeah.
And I missed you, Tony.
I think it's funny that we were at the same dinner.
How crazy is that? And how many people were there?
A
dozen?
Yeah.
Maybe 20 tops.
And like
tops.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. 20 people tops, and you were there.
Yeah.
And I don't remember you.
It's weird.
Yeah. Because I was so fucking
memorable.
busy. Well,
I'm just kidding. But
Who are you? But I love you. Any last thoughts?
No, I mean, just thank you for sitting down and like being patient, and thank you for all of the listeners for being patient with me because I definitely am not, personality person.
That was Scary Spice's dance that you just did.
What the fuck was that? I don't know.
Yeah, that was like her like giving you everything. That was like that she danced in the video. I want to say thank you, everybody. 100%. I want to thank you all. I also want to know what you got out of this episode and every other episode. So please follow us on the socials. We are there on TikTok. We are there on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. We are there. Substack is doing something different, and I want to check that out. And by then, this comes out tomorrow. So Reason to Podcast. You're going to find us everywhere, all over there. Reason to Podcast. And then reasontopodcast@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. And I think I'm going to publish our Patreon very, very soon because I already have 2 episodes on there that you're not getting on here. So we're going to start dropping the Patreon, which I'm very excited about.
Videos, right?
And video. So we'll have video.
Videos,
Yep, we'll have video. We have the Tina and you talking, and the 3 of us. Tina Evans, who was on this show, on the podcast before. She had her own interview before this one, where we talk about safe space or safe place. What are the differences? And I think that's a great conversation. So I want everybody to be able to get that. And so, again, email us with your stories. This is what I'm going to start promoting, is that we want to read or play your story on the podcast. And that could be something whether it be on a Patreon or Fridays that we can get away with. So we're going to figure that out soon. We're going to brainstorm that because it's wired differently.
Yeah, and I think that if people don't want their names, attached to a story, they can completely be anonymous. And also they can maybe send in some like questions or just some
this is for you.
Just some things that, they have gone through or what they're thinking at the moment or, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Because that would be great to share.
Yeah, I love it. So please share. And honestly, everybody's been doing great with that. And thank you for being very kind when I asked if Amelie, the character from the movie Amelie, is on the spectrum. And yes, I'm glad everybody kind of said, look, they agreed. Because it was very charming and sincere and sweet. So thank you. Thank you, everybody. Again, find us on the socials, follow, download, all that, subscribe, email us. And the one thing I just want to say is that you're all amazing. And this is the best thing about finding out and the diagnosis is being able to sit here with everybody and being able to just tell my stories, because I've done a lot. I felt a lot. I've blew up my brain in a lot, like just of trying to create stuff and do stuff. And I've been very successful in the things that I've done. And I really hope that this blows up because it's for you. And this is the first time I'm putting myself so in there and not doing it for other people. And I'm doing it for me on this journey. And I'm getting it all from you, our listeners, our supporters. I love y'all. So thank you. Any final thought that I'm not going to get?
I think I gave you like 2 final thoughts.
Man, there was 2 of them?
I think so.
Oh, no. I'm not good with my numbers. Okay. Or is it I don't know my numbers?
Untrue.
Yeah.
That is lies.
All right, everybody. We will see you next week.